Hey guys, the Voyages of Volatility have reset and we got 3 new stages to uncover. So again, we have to rack up 60,000 points across all these 3 battles to unlock all the Key of Thoughts that we possibly can. And this is extremely difficult, but first of all, the new character Fatutu will drop in a few days, and later today we get a banner for Windsong. These 2 characters will drastically improve the points that you will be able to rack up across these 3 stages, so keep that in mind. Before we jump into how to rack up 20k points per stage, first we have to talk about the new Echo, the new myth manifest, whatever they're called, right, which is the Ashen beast. If you want a guide for the other 2 echoes, Star of Misfortune and Operatic Reflection, I already did a guide for those, and I will pin that guide in the comment section down below. Now let's go and check out the Ashen beast. First of all, we have to talk about this skill, because this skill is a little bit different, as you can fully charge this up and you cannot use it once. You can use it 3 times per round if you fully charge it up, and that is always what you aim for. Of course, yeah, if you charge this up and use it 3 times in 1 round, then you will go into the status Heat Overload, which makes this Ashen beast unable to act, and it can't even gain the smog density, which it needs, right? They call the resource that you need to rack up to use this attack, they call the smog density, right? It's really whatever. So yeah, you just use your incantations, you fill up their gouge, right? Just as it is with the other echoes. But this one you have to fully charge up and then use it 3 times in a round. That is the important part. You always want to do that. That's how you use this skill to its maximum efficiency. Now let's go into its skill tree though. Again, we have 4 different key nodes, which are those big ones, and we're gonna talk about all of them right now. So this one here on the left says Heat Overload round duration +1. When Heat Overload ends, immediately gain smog density +50%. So this is this is not bad by any means, but it's very slow. First of all, you have to charge up your beast, your Echo, fully. Then you have to wait 4 rounds instead of 3. And then this ability fills up your smog density by +50%, right? This is way too slow. I would not recommend going for this node pretty much ever. It's not bad, but I can't recommend it. It's way too slow for my taste. So then the note that I took says when a mineral afflate this character, which you have to use mineral afflate this character for the stage that the Ashen beast is like the best in slot, right? The stage that you want to use the Ashen beast for requires you to use mineral characters. And this note right here that I took says, when a mineral afflate this character attacks, for every 5% of own missing HP, gain penetration rate +3. You will see that the entire route that I took is perfectly crafted exactly for my team, because I play Semmelweis and Eternity as my mineral afflatus team, and everything here is perfectly made for just that team. Everything evolves around HP percentages, right? You can see this here. When actively casting an incantation, all allies lose 10% of their current HP, and so on and so forth, right? Here, just damage bonus. Heat Overload. All allies gain a shield based on their missing HP. Then, at the end of the round, mineral afflatus characters below 50% HP unit. Everything here is perfectly crafted for the Semmelweis Eternity team, and that is a very strong team, like, to play together with this Ashen beast. And also for the stage that we're gonna cover, that is a team that I can highly recommend. Then we have this note right here that says inflicted smoggy haze lasts plus 10 rounds. Smoggy haze is when performing an extra action, incantation might plus 10 and penetration rate plus 10, and this can stack up to 5 times. That is a really solid, really strong note, and that's what I would recommend if any of your character pretty much uses an extra action. If you have 2, this is definitely the must take note for you. So extra action, if you play this in your mineral team, this is the note that you have to unlock. And then last but not least, we have this note here on the right that says after casting Sunlight's Funeral, which is the ultimate, the fully charged up attack from this Ashen beast. Then you grant yourself the buff that says at the end of the round, if HP is above 50%, lose 15% of current HP and gain a shield with based on your missing HP. If HP is below 50%, you gain a shield. You gain a shield, right? And you grant damage taken minus 20 to all the characters that grant you a shield. So this is pretty good for survivability. If you struggle staying alive, then this is a note you could consider. But really, the best note here in general is definitely this one right here, with whenever you perform an extra action. That is usually the note that you should go for most teams, right? Again, I would recommend Semmelweis Eternity, and you go for this note. If your team has trouble surviving, you go for this one on the right, and this left one here is by far the worst, no question about it. And that's about the Ashen Beast. Now onto the 3 new stages. So as I said, they are really difficult, and I would recommend you you can try it on hard, right? But if you cannot rack up 20k points on hard mode, then go back to normal. And you have to beat this stage in its entirety, and if you manage to do that, you will rack up exactly 20k points. And if you rack up 20k points in each and every one of those 3 stages, you have racked up 60k points in total, and that nets you all the good rewards. So consider playing this on normal mode and try to beat it completely. So now let's go and take a look at how the stage actually looks. First of all, the recommended Afflatus here is the Star Afflatus, and again you will definitely have to use a DPS character from the Star Afflatus, otherwise you will not have enough damage. In my case I used 37, but again the same reminder is coming through that later today we get a banner for the character Windsong, and Windsong is not only one of the top 3 main DPS characters, but she's also from the Star Afflatus. So if you plan to pull for her, she will help you out here drastically. That just as a side note. Now let's take a look at the stage. You can see stronger Afflatus damage plus 20, that is a total of 50% more damage. So you definitely want to make use of that, no question about it. Then all of your allies, when entering battle and at the start of every 4 rounds, all allies get disconcert for 1 round. That means they cannot get Moxie. That is pretty important here, and I will explain why in just a second. Then all your allies again at the start of the round grant 1 stack of pollution to all allies for 2 rounds. Pollution is after taking an action, you take damage in return. That is something that you have to watch out for a little. You have to keep that in mind, right? But that is not a key mechanic here for this fight, but something you can have an eye on that will help you out. Now, the enemies. What do they actually do? So these enemies, they grant a lot of buffs every single round to themselves, and for each buff that they have on themselves, their damage bonus is increased by 10%. And yeah, furthermore, if you debuff them, the more debuffs they have on themselves, their damage is reduced by 10%. So you cannot completely negate the damage bonus that they will get, because they simply grant themselves so many buffs that you will not be able to keep up and inflict the same amount of debuffs to them to balance this out. They will always gain a massive damage bonus, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger as they apply more and more and more buffs to themselves every single round. So there are two key things here that you have to take away, and it is key that you have this available to you and build a team around it. So first of all, you will have to apply debuffs to your enemies to reduce their damage output. And yeah, there are a lot of good options, right? The character 6 is a good option, or like Sotheby that does it with poison. Bring a character, or maybe even two, that apply debuffs, and preferably multiple debuffs at a time, like the character 6 does, for example. Or you use a character, as I did, with poison, right? You have multiple debuffs, multiple stacks of poison on the enemy, so you reduce their damage output. That is one key part. Bring debuffs. At least one character that can debuff at the very least. Then you have to be able to dispel the buffs from the enemy. And that is where things get a little bit more complicated, because you have to have a character out of a very specific selection. So what characters are actually able to dispel buffs from your enemies? Those characters, at least the ones that I would recommend, are Pickles, Necrologists, Charlie, Brimley, Avgust, Horopedia, and X. Now, the one that I did go for, you can see here, is Charlie. Why? Because there are two reasons. First of all, Charlie is also from the Star Afflatus, so she gets the damage bonus for an advantageous Afflatus. But also, yeah, you have to do this with her ultimate, but she dispels every single buff from all of your enemies at once with just one attack, right? Yeah, it is her ultimate. That is a little bit iffy, right? But you can make it work. You use this ultimate once, and every single buff from all of your enemies is dispelled. That is like ridiculously good on the stage, and Charlie is the only one from all the characters that can dispel buffs from the enemies that is a Star Afflatus. So I would highly recommend you use Charlie here as well. It will help you drastically. Then yeah, furthermore, as I already explained, you use a main DPS from the Star Afflatus, whatever that is. For me that was 37. If you don't have a good main DPS character from the Star Afflatus, then keep in mind that the Windsong banner drops later today, and you might wanna pull for her. I did a guide already, like when should you pull for Windsong, or when should you not pull for Windsong, and so on and so forth. I will also put this guide in the comment section down below in my pinned comment. But yeah, there's more. Yeah, just pair Charlie and another Star Afflatus DPS with two supports, right, that have heals and shields. You get the point. And then yeah, of course, like, don't forget that you want to use this Echo right here, the Star of Misfortune, as he also is from the Star Afflatus, and he deals more damage because of the Afflatus advantage. And yeah, that is the first fight for you. Now let's move to stage 2. And let's see what this battle is all about. Like, yeah, for this one, there is really not much to unpack here. Everything that they do kind of doesn't matter. It's just like pretty much a damage test and a test as to how you can stay alive. There are important notes though, because yeah, you have to bring Beast Afflatus characters, and since you face 4 enemies at once, and yeah, all of these 3 dogs, they attack like twice or even 3 times per turn. So if you can bring a Beast Afflatus character with counter, then this battle will be an absolute walk in the park for you. A good example for a character to bring that does that would be Jay. So really, bring some heal, bring some shields, bring Beast Afflatus character. If you can bring a Beast Afflatus character that has counter, then this battle will prove to be a walk in the park for you. Really, absolutely. There's really nothing to say here, right? All the enemies, they share the damage that they take across themselves, but that doesn't matter, right? You have to deal max damage anyways. If they share the damage or not is irrelevant. See, I hear this group symbiosis, and whenever an ally dies, the others gain +5 Moxie is also irrelevant. You have to kill them anyways, you know? Another thing that is a good recommendation is to focus these dogs and see that you kill all of those 3 dogs, and then at the end deal with the main guy. That's really about it. So bring Beast Afflatus characters, preferably Beast Afflatus characters that have a counter. Jay would be the perfect character to use for this battle here. And that's really all about it. Bring a little bit of heals, a little bit of shit, see that you stay alive. And that's really all about it already. Don't forget again that you have to use this echo here, operatic reflection. It is Beast Afflatus, and it will deal a little bit more damage because of that. And that's all about battle 2 already. We can just move on to battle number 3. And yeah, kind of the same rules apply here as well. There's not much to say about this battle, other than you have to bring Mineral Afflatus characters. And yeah, there's one mechanic here, and this leader guy here, what he does is, at the end of the round, casts an ultimate on the enemy with the highest HP. And this deals pretty significant damage. It can be detrimental. So it would be really recommended to bring something that can either shield you or grant damage reduction to you or lower his damage output in some way, shape or form. But yeah, it's really, again, not too much of a big deal. Just make sure that all of your characters are healthy and gain damage reduction. Maybe a shield would really help. So let me say that again. At the end of the round, this leader casts an ultimate on one of your allies, the one that with the highest amount of HP left. So keep that in mind. It does very high damage, and it might result in a death if you completely ignore this. So keep this in mind. And like always, what you should go for, a good way to negate this is to end your round with shields, right? So that all of your allies have a shield on them while you end your turn. For me, that wasn't much of a big deal because my Semmelweis and Eternity, they grant so much damage reduction to my team that I could easily keep them alive and healthy with 2 fairy. It was really not much of an issue. Here you have to use the new echo, the Ashen beast. It's mineral type, and that is the recommended type for this battle. So that's really all about it. Those were all 3 battles in the new Voyages of Volatility. Now keep in mind, if you cannot rack up enough points, you need 60,000 points across all of these battles. And if you have trouble doing so on hard difficulty, try it on normal. On normal though, you have to beat the entire stage and then you will have exactly 20k points. If you do this for all of those 3 stages here, then you will have unlocked all these keys, and that's all you need, that's all you want, right? So yeah, give it a few tries, don't give up, and yeah, good luck. Remember, if you really can't do it, then pull for Windsong and maybe even Fatudu, but Windsong should be your priority. Again, these videos are linked and pinned in the comment section down below. That's it for the video though. If you like reverse 1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel, I would really appreciate it. But until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, and we love this game.